Hi, my name's Angel Gutierrez, and during this video, I will be going over the psychological effects of bullying on kids and teens. So first off, what is bullying? Bullying is defined as unwanted aggressive behavior among school-age children that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. The behavior is repeated or has potential to be repeated over time. So some factors of bullying is behavior not being welcomed by a person, being bullied, the bully and the bullied understand that the bully has more power, and the bully repeats the behavior over and over again. Some bullying is easy to recognize, and others occur quietly and covertly, and that's where a lot of emotional damage happens. And it is shown time and time again that bullying has a real emotional and psychological impact. Bullying is used to hurt, humiliate, expose, and harass and harm someone. So when another form of bullying is harassment, which is basically bullying based on race, ethnicity, sex, disability, sexual orientation, or national origin. And this can sometimes lead to legal issues because it can be seen as a hate crime. So where and when is bullying occurring? So bullying can occur anywhere, mostly occurs where an area group of kids are, which is during or around school hours. When in life does this occur? Physical aggression starts off higher among students and then decreases consistently. So when kids are 2 to 5 years old, 18% of them show bullying, but when they're 14, 17 years old, only 10% show bullying. Harassment via electronic goes from low to high, though. So when students are 6 to 9 years old, only 0.5% of them exhibit bullying, while they are 14 to 17 years old, 14% of them experience bullying. So what kind of students get bullied? Bullying is common, follows common characteristics. People being bullied are often cautious, shy, introvert, have low self-confidence, so they are targeted very often. So people who are harmed during bullying is basically everyone. The victim becomes more withdrawn, has trouble interacting with peers, trouble sleeping and eating, their academic performance decreases, they skip class, drop out of school, they often exhibit anger and rage, and that's kind of sometimes where school shooters come from, unfortunately. The bully, on the other hand, is at risk of short-term and long-term lasting emotional problems as their victims. They also have trouble relating to peers and not as many friends. They're also at a greater risk for alcohol, drug abuse, and engaging in sexual activity during adolescence. So, what are some psychological lasting impacts? For the victim, they often experience depression, anxiety, and lifelong problems. They have difficulty making and keeping relationships. Their emotional harm lasts much longer than physical, and victims' self-image permanently are maimed. Bullies, on the other hand, are unhappy adults and have difficulty holding down jobs. So, as the government sees this going on, they often try to do their best to intervene and stop what's happening. So most states create laws and policies and regulations to try and prevent bullying from happening. Most states require school districts and schools to implement a bullying policy and procedures to investigate and respond to bullying when it occurs. A handful of states require bullying prevention programs during health education or teacher professional development. Generally, the states do not prescribe specific consequences for kids who engage in bullying behavior, but they do give a definition sometimes of what bullying is and expect the school district to respond. California, for example, has 60 laws and policies against bullying, and it defines bullying as doing actions that would put a pupil in fear of harm of self or possessions, doing harm that would go against mental health, doing harm that would go against affecting education or academic performance for the victim, and doing harm that would prevent the victim from not participating in activities. For school districts in California, They are required to make statements prohibiting harassment, intimidating or bullying. They are required to make procedures for reporting and investigations throughout when bullying occurs. And publications of anti-discrimination, anti-harassment, anti-intimidation, and anti-bullying laws are required. Some laws in California are anti-bullying laws and regulations that include protections for specific groups, such as LGBTQ groups. They encourage and require districts to implement bullying prevention programs and strategies. So as you listen to this video, you kind of question, what can you do as a person? Well, start with yourself. Show kindness, show love, show acceptance. Let your positive attitudes affect the heart of those around you and be an example of love. Thank you for listening.